Shalom from Jerusalem. This is day 153 in this war against the terrorist group Hamas in Gaza. Wanted to talk to you about the Biden administration, the pressure that we are facing, that Bibi Netanyahu is facing, as I have already mentioned, that they're pressuring Israel into accepting a Palestinian state side by side to our Israeli nation. So this would be a ludicrous thing if this would happen. Think about it. If Israel would accept, if a Palestinian state would be established, that would mean that the United States would have to put an embassy here in Jerusalem, in the eastern side of Jerusalem, for a Palestinian state. It doesn't make sense. It would be also like rewarding terrorism, rewarding the massacre that took place on October 7th from the hands of the terrorist group Hamas. So we have an issue with Benny Gantz, who is part of the government that is being led by Bibi Netanyahu. Benny Gantz is a longtime rival with Benjamin Netanyahu, against Benjamin Netanyahu, but he is in a coalition government right now. But he took a little trip to Washington, D.C. on his own to try to make amends or try to fix the situation on his own with the Biden administration, and thinking that the Biden administration was against just Bibi Netanyahu. But when he started speaking to the leaders in Israel, to the Democrat leaders in the United States, he realized that this problem is not just against Netanyahu, but it's against Israel. There's a lot of pressure against Israel into giving up a lot of stuff, giving up our fight against Hamas, to do a ceasefire, to pull out, and that would mean a total accepting, no victory for Israel in Gaza, and Hamas would survive this war, which is something that Israel, the majority of Israel, does not favor this. The majority of Israel wants total destruction of Hamas and the return of the hostages, and then we would accept a ceasefire. So when Benny Gantz went to Washington, he realized that this situation with the Biden administration is not just against Bibi Netanyahu, but against Israel. And so it plus this whole situation, all this push is only increasing the support of Netanyahu, because Bibi Netanyahu is the only one that stands up to the United States, to the pressure of the United States. He's the strongest leader that we have. And so the more pressure against Israel, and the more talk about ceasefire without the release of the hostages and without the destruction of Hamas, the support of Bibi Netanyahu only increases. And that's what Benny Gantz realized, that this whole situation is not just against Bibi Netanyahu, but it's against Israel. We have Kamala Harris, the vice president, talking about how Israel should accept the ceasefire, and pretty much giving up on the wanting to destroy the terrorist group Hamas. And this is, the majority of Israel does not support this withdrawal of Israel from Gaza and not destroying Hamas. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about was Qatar. A lot of people see Qatar as a nice, friendly nation, but actually Qatar is the biggest support of Hamas They've supported Hamas with billions of dollars financially, and also through weapons, missiles, and rockets, and other weapons. So Qatar is playing both fields. They seem to be like the friendly country trying to make a deal with Hamas and everything. Hold on, please. And so it's like, so they're playing both fields, and if and they seem to be very friendly with the United States, but they're also friendly with Iran. They're also friendly with Russia and China. So they're playing both fields, and they're supplying Hamas with weapons and financially. And so, if the United States would realize that Qatar is funding terrorism, that would change things quite a bit, because they could pressure Qatar into giving up this support of terrorism in Hamas, and we could actually have Qatar also then pressure Hamas into giving up the hostages and giving up in total, giving up in this war. But Qatar is playing both fields, and actually some leaders here in Israel have said that Qatar is actually Hamas and Hamas is Qatar. It's craziness, because this little country is supporting the terrorist group Hamas in Gaza, but it also hosts the leaders of Hamas in their country. They let all these leaders of Hamas live in their country, and they're kind of like some of the richest men pretty much in the world, with all this money that they've stolen, that the money that comes into Gaza. They've taken a lot of this money for themselves, and the money doesn't get to the people that really needs it in Gaza. So if the United States would pressure Qatar and Qatar pressure Hamas, things would be different, and we would probably already have a deal here with Hamas, which would mean the release of the hostages and the surrender of the terrorist group Hamas in Gaza. So this is something that I wanted you guys to realize about Qatar. They've been funding Hamas for a long time. If it wouldn't be for Qatar, I think Hamas wouldn't be as big, it wouldn't be as strong. Maybe it wouldn't exist right now. Who knows? But Qatar needs to stop funding Hamas. It is not the friendly country that everybody thinks. We just had a World Cup over there, but we got to realize what is really going on here in the Middle East. And so we want you guys to pray for the soldiers, our soldiers, Israeli soldiers that are fighting inside Gaza, and pray for the hostages that are still being held inside Gaza, and pray for the leaders here in Israel that they won't give in to pressure from the United States, and that they would make wise decisions. God bless you. Shalom, shalom from Jerusalem.